sick, so.
It's cold when you walk and put the heat on.
Have you ever thought about the way animals communicate? I learned after talking with you that you have all had or have a pet, or enjoy watching animals in the great outdoors. I thought you would find it intriguing how animals signal to one another, and would enjoy learning about this topic. I have always had a love for animals, but I have never actually looked into the different techniques they use to communicate. I thought it would be interesting to get more information on this topic. Today I will discuss ways they signal and types of animals that use these signs. These include visual, auditory, tactile, and chemical communication. Let's first start by looking at visual communication. Visual communication is determined by color, shape, and body language. This can also be referred to as a badge or a display. A badge is a structural adaptation that is used in communication. For example, the color of a yellow male American goldfinch. A display is a behavior that can be visually seen by another animal. A cat arching its back and raising the fur on its back is a display. Bees display a dance to let others know that they have found nectar. This dance also helps them to show other bees where they have found this nectar. Animals can use visual communication as a way to gain or show power. The male white-tailed deer uses visual communication. The bigger their antlers, the more power they have. The size of the antlers is a badge to let other male deer know how much power they have. Wolves also use this technique of communication. They put their tail between their legs and lie on their backs to show they are not a threat. But if they want to show how much power they have, they will stare at each other, bare their teeth, and raise their fur. Many animals also use this for finding a mate. The northern cardinal has very bright colored feathers, which mean it is healthy. This usually goes for the male. The brighter the feathers, the healthier the male is. The stronger the male means more reliable to mate with and will most likely have stronger offspring. A display a female American crocodile uses is she lifts her head and shows off her neck. This shows the male that she is not aggressive. Male fiddler crabs wave their claws in the air to attract females. Sometimes these visual communications are to warn other animals to stay away. The Gila monster has bright orange splotches that are a warning to other animals that it is poisonous and other animals should stay away. Also, male elephant seals make visual displays of aggression to compete for a mate. This lets other males know to stay away or they will fight it out and there will eventually be a winner. White-tailed deers flick their tails to show alarm, and gorillas stick out their tongue to show anger. The second form of communication is auditory. Auditory is communication by a sound an animal makes. This sound can either come from the animal or an object. They use noises to attract mates. The male American alligator uses sound to make it known to females they want to mate. They roar and slap their heads on the water to get her attention. Certain animals also use these auditory communications to warn that an intruder is too close or to warn danger. Dogs, for example, bark when someone comes too close to their house and is on their territory. Red squirrels also use loud rattles, screeches, and yips to warn off the intruder or warn other squirrels of danger. Kangaroos also thump their hind legs to warn about danger. Coyotes are one of the noisiest animals in North America. They use barks, yips, and howls to mark their territory. They also use these noises to let other coyotes know where they are. A bird called a loon or a diver will run across the water, flap its wings, and use certain noises called a tremblo. This is a way that they mark or defend their territory. Some research says that dolphins have a certain language. They are working to see if humans can communicate with them. They each have their own whistling sound to identify themselves. They also use echolocation to find food. They have a sac in their forehead that uses clicking sounds. When it hits something, it bounces back to the dolphin, and that's how they can find food. The third communication is very important. It is tactile. Touch is used to comfort, establish dominance, and establish bonds. This form of communication is important in primates. They travel and live in large groups, and tactile communication helps form bonds and keep peace. Primates groom each other, and gorilla and chimpanzees touch hands to greet one another. Touching is a form of comfort for babies. Primates hold and cuddle their young as a comfort technique, and mother tigers lick and nudge their young. Some animals use touch to show their attraction to a mate. Elephants wrap their trunks around one another, giraffes press their necks into each other, horses rub each other's noses, and swans twist their necks together. Prairie dogs bare their teeth and push their mouths together to determine if they are friends or enemies. They also use this form to bond with other animals. Sea otters use touch to establish bonds with other animals. They rub their faces together and touch noses. They are so playful and kind that they will bond with other animals other than otters, such as sea lions and seals. The final communication I will talk about is chemical communication. Chemical communication is the use of pheromones, which are chemicals that animals leave behind. They use this tactic to mark territory, find prey, and identify other animals. They will leave things called scent posts to mark their territory. It is some object that is marked with a certain animal's scent. Animals will do this to set boundaries. Mountain lions are animals that like to be alone. Its territory can range from 100 square miles. It will kick up leaves and dirt and urinate on the pile to mark its territory. The Canadian lynx will also urinate on things such as trees to mark its territory. It will also claw trees as a visual sign, but this can also be chemical. Many animals have scent glands in their claws, so when they scratch something, it will leave a little bit of their scent. When a house cat rubs its head against someone, it is marking its territory. They have scent glands in their mouths, forehead, and base of their tail. When they rub that scent onto something else, other cats know that they have already marked their territory. Male cats usually mark their mating territory by urinating in certain places. Animals will also use this to identify family members. The mule deer has scent glands on its back legs right above its hoofs. Young deer will usually identify their mothers by this. When they are in groups, they tend to sniff each other's back legs. When they become aggressive, the hair around these glands stand up. Snakes use their tongues to collect pheromones of prey animals. They have receptors in their mouths that help them taste and smell these pheromones. We've just explored some ways that animals communicate and what animals use these techniques. Now I would like to leave you with some final thoughts. As you can see, animals have many ways of communicating, which include visual, auditory, tactile, and chemical. In my introduction, I noted that you wanted to learn more about how animals communicate. I hope I left you with some new and interesting information. My hope is you learned something new about animal communication. Did you know elephants can communicate with noises humans can't hear?
Very good.